I think it's more um, related to the movement of the Earth. Um, and they say over a period of time, the poles actually flip.
There's the geographic North Pole, which never changes, and there's the magnetic North Pole, which is always on the move. And right now, it's moving faster than usual. Over the last 150 years, the magnetic North Pole has casually wandered 685 miles across northern Canada. But right now, it's racing 25 miles a year to the northwest. This could be a sign that we're about to experience something humans have never witnessed before: a magnetic polar flip. And when this happens, it could affect much more than just your compass.
Right now on the surface of the planet, it looks like it's just a bar magnet, right? Our compasses are just pointing toward one pole at a time because there's a dominant two-pole dipole system.
But sometimes, Earth doesn't always just have a single magnetic north and south pole. Evidence suggests that for hundreds to thousands of years at a time, our planet has had 4, 6, and even 8 poles at a time. This is what has happened when the magnetic poles flipped in the past. And when it happens again, it won't be good news for humans. Now you might think that 8 poles must be better than 2, but the reality is that multiple magnetic fields would fight each other. This could weaken Earth's protective magnetic field by up to 90% during a polar flip. Earth's magnetic field is what shields us from harmful space radiation, which can damage cells, cause cancer, and fry electronic circuits and electrical grids.
It doesn't happen like right away, but there was some concern about magnetic north moving further and further from where it originally was at, that eventually things that were calibrated when it was in a certain position are now, they're going to have to make adjustments for it to still be accurate, like GPS, things of that nature. And depending on how far it tilts, it's going to affect certain types of machines that use magnetic fields to function, motors, those type of things.
Us.
Yeah. Not looking forward to being around when that happens. I think they might not be friendly. Not at all too friendly.
No, us, man. It's when you discover as a kid when you're on the rug and you shock somebody. It's like, hey man, we're part of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
All of this energy out here, all this electricity.
Yeah.
We're a part of all of this. So when the earth is shifting and things like that, certain people, including myself, may fast, trying to connect in with that energy. Like, hey man, I need to be still right now. Right. And that's one of the things I wonder, for, people today with everything being so convenient, how do they still develop a discipline?
It's part of this disintegration of society that we have right now. And I always have this joke about our industry. The industry that I remember that I enjoyed the most, people did more with less. The artists played better shows because it was more focused about the playing than what button to push or to step on. It was raw talent. The guys that do what we do. There were certain situations you had to figure out no matter what, you had to make it work. And you did it all with less. And what you have now your proficiency is based on how you learn and what you're exposed to, and when you exercise your mind and when you don't, I guess is a good way to put it. Your brain takes on a larger capacity when it has to figure stuff out than when it's figured out for you. People don't remember phone numbers. I know people that don't even know their own cell phone number because they don't call themselves. As a kid, you probably have 1 or 2 numbers that you probably still remember from when you were a kid, because we were told like you need to memorize this number if something happens. This is Aunt Sally's number. You're
Yeah,
going to
that was
call
always
this.
there. Yeah.
You processed information different, and I guess the word is retention. Um, they say the average person, and this was going back maybe 5 years ago, is exposed to, what did they say? I think they said 5 terabytes of information a day. And that when you sleep, your brain is trying to filter out what to keep, what to discard to make room for the next 5 terabytes that is going to hit you tomorrow. From the time you get up, look at your phone, turn on the TV, it's a constant flood of information. Um, when I say information, most of it's not useful: television commercials, background noise, things that are on the television, um, devices in your car, then the challenges on your job or whatever. We had a much larger capacity before the digital age to retain and to filter and utilize that information. And like I said, the key thing is retention, how much of it you were able to hold on to for future implementation, for lack of better words, than now. Um, this young generation that's coming up is so dependent now on digital medium, these things, that if they were turned off for a prolonged period of time, they wouldn't survive. There's a type of PTSD that's associated when you take people's phones away, because this user-generated content, which thank you, YouTube, for that. But that's what made YouTube popular, was user-generated content. People like being able to see themselves, see things they can relate to, see people that they know. Um, it excites that endorphins in your head when you see how many clicks you got, how many likes you got on your video. So it's like a drug. So part of the day, you're constantly looking like, did I get any clicks? Did I get any likes? You know what I mean? How to get to places, how to do things. Oh, I'll just Google it up. You know what I mean? Where people get their news from. There's so many misinformed people. So if you cut off that medium, that access, I refer to it as life support. Just turn the power off. That's the life support. There's so many things that don't work without power and that people can't function without because they don't know how.
So how? That's the question. What do you do when you're in an age where things are right there? I mean, we hear in marijuana, they delivering marijuana to the house, right?
Oh,
They have drive-through cannabis places. Like everything is easy.
every,
So
oh no,
how do they develop discipline? Like, what do you need to do?
it starts at home. And unfortunately, like I say, I think it gets to a certain point where the damage is not that easily undone. My wife teaches at a school and she deals with uh, preschool kindergartners and first graders. Some of the stories she tells me when she comes home, I have to remind myself we're talking about little kids. It starts at home.
Roadies of Color United is a nonprofit 501c6 organization that I helped to create. Our goal is to help to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in the behind-the-scenes entertainment industry.
Middle seat on the plane. Do the person in the middle get both armrests?
I believe they're meant to be shared. It's an awkward kind of share. But I've gotten to where like I don't get confrontational anymore over armrests. You know, but no, it's a point of contention. The middle seat. I would think that no, the person in the middle doesn't get full access to both armrests, and that's where that diplomacy and patience comes in. But I'm not going to argue with people over an armrest. I did that movie, and it's just not worth. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
I try to share the armrest. I'm like, okay, you can get the front part or the back part. We, what I mean, we put our elbow in the front or the
Right.
back. I've
Like
only
when I,
had one guy that like turned his butt to the side, like he was sitting at the window, and I'm like, okay, you win, buddy, you win.
yeah, when they get to, first time I feel the physical contact, like you're trying to push my arm away, it's like, okay, you got this.
Yeah, you can have
Not
it.
even,
Yeah,
not,
he was in the middle, and I was at the window, and his girlfriend was on the aisle seat, and he just laid on her, and his butt came on my side, and I was like, okay, you win, man, you win, you win. Tap tap. Excuse me, man. Hey, and he goes, oh yeah, my bad. Ah, man, come on, you know what you're doing.